Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the weather forecast. We have a high
You
pressure
should check if
Oishi
everything's
system
broken
coming
again, by
through
the
the
way.
area. I was on my way back home. The cries of the Higurashi take a shit
Oh
accentuated the
no!
already lonely evening. More time had passed than I'd thought. The orange of the dusky sky was being chased down, little by little, by an indigo color approaching from the east.
Holy shit, it really is the weather forecast.
See, I told you. Exhausted from the slow climb towards Hinamizawa, even without noticing, I'd gotten off my bicycle and was pushing it uphill. You have to say dot 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 dot. Thank you. I don't understand any of this. Alright, I'm done with jokes now, I promise. No one had told me to my face that I'd done something wrong. No. In fact, it might have been much easier on me that way. What happened yesterday really was just my curiosity. I think this is
It's
a
this
new
track again. No, this is the gear track. We've heard it before. It's fucking fantastic. We heard in the flashback, I think, actually. The Mion flashback.
It really was no more than a quiet prank. No more than having the courage to cross at a red light, as long as you did it with other people. The storehouse for ritual implements. Hollowed ground, only accessible to the family of the priest. For sure, I'd seen terrifying things that I'd never imagined would be there. Thinking on it now, though, it didn't matter what was stored away inside. It didn't make the wrong I had committed any more right. What the four of us did, Mion seemed to know about it. For some reason, even the police were trying to learn what the four of us did. For some reason. Did we do something so bad? Really? It doesn't matter how wrong it was. I did something wrong. It was nothing more than that, and yet I couldn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Mion or Oishi-san. Oh, hello, Sagi. All I did was shield myself with ambiguities. I did something wrong yesterday. You haven't missed very much. He's just reminiscing about how he fucked up. I set foot into a forbidden storehouse for a little bit of mischief. I'll forget everything I saw in there. I won't ever do something like that again, either. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I apologize like that, would they forgive me? The suddenly cool evening air left no room for such sentiment, however, as it mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible. In the end, the evening air was correct. If I trudged along such an isolated road, regrets would pile on top of regrets, but nothing would change. Let's go home. I'll go home, go to my room, put on my favorite music or something, and go to bed. That might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I felt all day. Keiichi.
Yeah, that's
Oh, it doesn't
okay. It
come
didn't come
through.
true, I guess.
Gotcha. There you go.
Oh, wow, owl.
Now that I've made a decision, there's no point in dawdling in a place like this. I sat back on my bike. I pushed hard on the pedals. I rapidly advanced forward. I steadily gained speed. The wind was cutting and mercilessly cold, but it actually felt good, as if it were softly punishing me. That was a nice transition. I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returning to my bedroom. My mom called me from downstairs. Alright, who wants Keiichi's mom?
Keiichi, you have a call from Sonozaki-san.
Sonozaki? Was it Mion? No, it was Shion. I just remembered. She'd had something she wanted to tell me today. Oishi-san had interrupted us, so she didn't get the chance. Shion had said she'd call tonight.
Hello? Is that you, Shion?
Hello. Ran into a bit of trouble today, didn't we? She said it so plainly that I got a bit annoyed. She was the one who left me there and ran. Don't say that. I gave you the signal to run away with me, didn't I? You just sat there looking dazed, Kei-chan. He didn't say that, though. He just thought it. Okay.
I wasn't dazed. All of a sudden you left me there, and after that, I had to put up with that Oishi guy for ages.
Don't complain to me about it. I can't believe she passed it off like that. She looks just like Mion, and yet inside, she's this different? I got a little irritated at myself when I realized I was, somewhere in my mind, hoping for the same reaction I would get from Mion, even though she's a different person.
Sorry. Next time I'll run away first thing and just leave you there.
Hey, it's ladies first. Shion laughed refreshingly. Thank you. When I heard her voice, I realized that she wasn't really that angry or anything. It was just as she said. I feel like she's absolutely furious. Just because Keiichi said that she's not.
That laugh was just dripping with malice, but Keiichi couldn't notice it.
The cause of my temper was because it was my own fault for not leaving immediately. I'll stop blaming it on others. Blaming it on others would be...
Anyway, you had something to tell me, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you already know, then it's not something that bears repeating. Do you already know? Shion lowered her voice suddenly, as if she were glancing around. I had no idea what I could already know.
Sorry, but I have no clue what you're talking about. At least give me a hint.
So that means you don't know. She seemed to take my stupid-sounding question as evidence. However, her voice didn't sound disappointed or exasperated in the slightest. Actually, it's about last night, during the Watanagashi festival. My entire body jolted as I was assailed by a terrible feeling. Is Shion going to ask the same thing? Why would she ask that? Hello? Kei-chan, are you listening?
Yeah, I am. What about last night?
The four of us went in there, right? She didn't beat around the bush. Whether or not I wanted to admit it, that was the actual, honest truth, and I couldn't act like it hadn't happened. Then, after that, we walked away together, and then went our separate ways near the stone stairs, right? Takano-san and Tomitake-san went to the stream, and you stayed there, Kei-chan. I wandered over to see some relatives.
Yeah. Why do you ask?
You dumb bitch.
This sentence really makes me think that we ain't talking to Shion right now.
Keiichi, you dumb bitch.
I think we just admitted to a crime. We won't make any progress if we keep asking each other questions. So let me ask this question first. Okay.
This isn't an interrogation.
Live
Whatever would make you
writing!
think that?
Live writing! Oh my god!
Whatever would make you think this is an interrogation?
You mean, did I see Tomitake-san and Takano-san last night?
Huh? Oh, yes. Did you see the two of them after that? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. This is the third time I've been asked this question today. Why? Why? What the hell was going on?
Why? Why are you asking me that?
No, Kei-chan. I'm asking the question. Please answer me.
Did you, Shion? If you answer first, then I'll answer.
My shabby response betrayed how scared and small I felt now, after everything that had happened today. Shion didn't say anything for a few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd really put my foot in my mouth with that response, she finally answered me. Of course, I didn't see them. My relatives were with me, and they can vouch for that.
I didn't see them either. People can vouch for me too, like Mion, Rena, and everyone else.
Now that we knew our answers matched, she let out a sigh that sounded more relieved than anything else. Thank you for answering me honestly. Okay then, I'll tell you. Oh, here we go. Apparently, last night, Takano-san and Tomatake-san died.
Sorry, Shion. What was that you just said?
Apparently, last night, Takano-san and Tomatake-san died. Takano-san was found burned to death. Tomatake-san was, well, it looked like a suicide. I found out this morning. I heard my dad talking to a relative on the phone about it.
I'm sorry, Keiichi asking Shion to repeat that is so unintentionally hilarious.
I think it's actually probably intentionally hilarious.
It's really funny.
He probably got so many like fan responses that were like, "Why do you repeat yourself so much?" And then he just put this line in to fuck with you.
He didn't even do the stinger until the repeat. It's so funny.
Late last night. Also, I guess it is Takano-san in the barrel. A police car on its way... My mic went up. A police car on its way from festival security duty had discovered Tomatake-san lying in the middle of the road, heading towards Okinomiya. He had clawed out his throat and died.
That sound effect is the sound of Tomatake clawing out his throat. It sounds like metal screeching because his throat's just that sturdy.
Indeed.
What? He clawed out his own throat? That bright, cheerful Tomitake-san committed suicide? That can't possibly be right.
The police did an autopsy. He did it with his own fingernails. He scratched at his throat so hard that he ruptured his blood vessels and bled out. He died in a pool of his own blood. That's what they said.
I've never heard of such an insane suicide. You can't just scratch open your own throat like that.
Does he know?
I realized I was yelling too loudly, so I lowered the force I was putting into my voice. Why do I feel like the next thing he says is going to have 3 exclamation points? I didn't want my parents to hear me, so I switched to the cordless phone and ran up to my own room.
Sorry for yelling. So, was Takano-san? Was that a suicide too?
In her case, it's a little unclear. Is it? Is it
Yeah, he
unclear?
just committed suicide by burning to death. You know, the usual.
Was the barrel lid closed?
Went all the way to Gifu.
Takano-san... Okay, so Gifu is actually the name of the place. Okay. Takano-san's body was found in the mountains of Gifu Prefecture. Employees at a restaurant nearby reported to the police late last night that they could see flames in the mountains, so I guess the barrel was probably open then. The firefighters dispatched there were the first ones to find her. An autopsy concluded that it was the burned corpse of a half-naked female. They initially considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after, there was a request for dental comparison from the XX Prefectural Police Station in Okinomiya, and the results concluded that it was Mio Takano. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely to have been a homicide, since she was in her undergarments, and her clothes were nowhere in the area. The oil drum had fallen over, so it's also possible she burned herself to death.
As you do. It couldn't possibly have been suicide. If you're going to die, there are plenty of easier ways, aren't there? It can't have been suicide.
That's the smartest thing Keiichi's said so far. That's what I think. It's unthinkable that Tomatake-san would kill himself, too. After the two of us rattled on at each other, there was a silence as we paused to catch our breaths. And as we calmed our nerves, right then, I understood what Shion's story actually meant. I think it will end up being Oyashiro-sama's curse. We did more than enough to deserve it, after all.
Deserve? You've gotta be kidding. It's not like I...
Shion wanted to see it with me. I just went along with her. I tried to say that, but I fell silent. Nothing would come of me blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me. I could have put my foot down. I lost my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go with them. Yes, it was my fault, and no one else's. Well, at least he's, like, acknowledging it.
Shion. Last night, when we snuck into the ritual storehouse, did you predict things would turn out this way?
Of course not. I mean, I thought it was pretty risky, but I never even dreamed something like this could happen. Shion's words were probably her true feelings. She knew she could get into trouble if we were caught, but that was the thrill of this little adventure. It was the same for me. Besides that, Kei-chan, think about it for a moment. Didn't Oyashiro-sama's curse turn out a little strange this year? It was already plenty strange, seeing as how Tomitake-san and Takano-san died like that. Given all that, what could possibly be stranger? Maybe the fact that 2 people died? I mean that they found 2 corpses. Remember what I said? Every other year, 1 person would die, and 1 person would disappear. This year is the first time 2 people have been found dead.
Wait, is it every other year or every year?
Every year.
Every other year in the sense of every
year,
prior
yeah.
year is what she means.
Every year except this one.
Okay.
That may be true, but that's not a huge deal, is it?
It's a very huge deal, Keiichi. It is, Kei-chan. Think about it harder. Listen. If 2 people died because of Oyashiro-sama's curse, then in order to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger, 2 people would need to be sacrificed.
Is that how it works? So what? Tomitake-san and Takano-san died, so no 2 people are going to go missing this year?
I don't understand why, but when I said that, I felt my spine freeze. I don't think anyone's been confirmed missing yet. I think that those 2 people have yet to disappear. Shion, like me, was obviously getting the same feeling crawling down her back. This line makes me think even more that we are definitely not talking to Shion right now.
2 people have yet to disappear?
Shion didn't answer. I couldn't say any more than that, either. A chill crept in through my clothes and tried to wrap into a fist around my heart. Cold hands feeling about on my chest. Neither of us could say anything. Tomitake-san opened the lock, and he died. Takano-san exposed the ritual storehouse, and she died. If 2 more people were to be sacrificed, then they would be none other than the ones who entered with them. None other than us.
No. This has got to be a joke.
I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke, even now. That, though, was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request. If Tomitake-san and Takano-san had died in a common way like a car accident, I could tell myself that it was coincidence. Instead, he clawed out his own throat, and she burned to death, drowned in oil in the mountains. The 2 deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be someone punishing us. Some sort of cruel will working behind the scenes. Even so, I still didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge that a horrible crisis was growing near for Shion and I. That's why I argued against it. I argued, knowing I was running away.
In the first place, it's not even in the newspaper, is it? Such a monstrous incident would be all over the newspapers and television.
It wasn't
reported in the newspaper. No. Anyway.
Magazine writers would have to flood the village too, thinking it'd make it for an interesting story.
Of course it's not getting reported by the media. That's how it was in the past, too. When the incidents occurred for the 3rd year in a row, there were some third-rate magazines that sniffed out the story and ran issues full of gossip columns about Hinamizawa.
So now that it's the 5th year, we'll get 5th-rate magazines.
Exactly.
Magazine power scaling?
No. Fearing that the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the prefecture and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy where no information about the incidents was allowed to be leaked to the media. I hear the elders and the top brass from the Sonozaki family put all the pressure they could on the police.
Then you mean their deaths are going to be dealt with in total secrecy?
That's how it is. Of course, the police are investigating it. It's being performed in secret too, though, so I hear the investigation itself is very restricted in what it can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with a police investigation. This story was unbelievable. People died, and yet they don't publicize it and deal with everything in secret. If we break it down further, it means that no matter who dies on the night of the Watanagashi, it won't go public.
That's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard.
Kei-chan, before, I said how the villagers could be the ones carrying out Oyashiro-sama's curse. That's what I mean. At some point, a tradition was created here in Hinamizawa, where every year, you're allowed to kill someone on the night of the Watanagashi under the guise of it being Oyashiro-sama's curse. Oh no! Is it a different... Oh no! That's bad. That is bad for solving the mystery. Okay, so what this made me think is, what if it's a different culprit every chapter? Would that be fucked up or what?
I can't believe everybody wants to kill Tomatake. Everyone's envious of his super thick neck.
Okay, well, Tomatake, at least, is probably the same, I think. Anyway, when someone...
There could be 2 different Tomotakes for all we know, with his identical twin brother.
There's 8 Tomatakes for the 8. There's 8 Tomatakes for the 8 chapters.
I fucking hate that you're right. There could be like 2 of every character, and we just haven't had it revealed yet.
Yeah, his name's actually Tomotake.
We need to activate the understudy.
What if they both killed each other?
We've seen Rena, but we haven't seen Senna yet.
How do you know that we haven't seen Senna?
We haven't seen Senna by name. How's that?
Oh, okay. When someone dies on the night of Watanagashi, it turns into the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The curse turns into the serial murder incidents. In order to avoid exacerbating the negative stigma surrounding Hinamizawa, those incidents are dealt with in secret.
That's insane! Dead and missing people turn up every year. However bad the stigma gets, the police have to draw the line somewhere, don't they?
You could say that the incidents happening every year is mysterious, but the police can get the job done when they need to. After all, the incidents always get resolved individually. It doesn't end up being a string of incidents, you know? It just so happens that something unfortunate happens on the night of Watanagashi every year. That's all it turns into. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last one managed to get away and stay away, but the events were totally exposed and elucidated, so it was, in essence, resolved. The damn supporting couple who died in an accident on the 2nd year That was an accidental death, plain and simple. They made a lot of investigations into the possibility of it having been a homicide, but they didn't turn up anything. It ended up as an accident. It was resolved. On the 3rd year, the priest fell ill and passed away. There were doctors present at the hospital at his deathbed, and they all had trustworthy medical certificates. They even did an autopsy. It concluded that it wasn't a homicide. That was resolved too. Okay, but what if he was in the hospital at Hinamizawa? On the 4th year, the sister-in-law of the dam-supporting couple was murdered. They keep dancing around who it actually is. I'm 99% sure they are referring to Satoko's aunt, just by the way. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychostimulant usage. He confessed that he thought Oyashiro-sama's curse was so interesting, he wanted to try it out. The criminal...
Oh my god. Yeah, guys, you just gotta try out Oyashiro-sama's curse.
when I have to carry out Oyashiro-sama's curse because I'm bored.
Oyashiro-sama's curse ain't shit. One Watanagashi later.
The criminal died of an accident while imprisoned, so the incident was essentially resolved as well. How was that resolved? That's
Hinamizawa if he had never done this before.
Satoko's aunt's killer didn't kill himself.
I see. That's right. None of the incidents had any relation to another, and each was independently resolved. So then why does an unfortunate coincidence occur every year on the night of Watanagashi? You can try to say it's a string of related incidents, but they're not related. Yet, every year, someone always dies, and someone always disappears. The story Takano-san told me on the day before during the setup. Is it... I don't know if it's Takano or Takano now.
I think both technically work.
Now that the curse really had occurred this year, I couldn't just laugh it off.
Then, does that mean it'll come for us, too? Just like how one person dies and one disappears every year. Are you saying we'll be taken along with Tomitake-san and Takano-san and erased, too?
My lips had, at some point, become completely dry, and just saying that was difficult. Shion didn't respond. Her silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she could give me.
Sure, we went somewhere we shouldn't have, but we were just looking, right? We didn't steal anything or take anything out. And we didn't tell anyone that we looked, right?
I was already regretting having committed such a wrong. Even so, was it really so bad that Tomitake-san and Takano-san deserve such cruel deaths? Whoops.
Besides, I didn't care about anything I saw in there at all. Takano-san was the only one getting happy over it, wasn't she? Takano-san was the only one at fault. I don't have anything to do with this. I'm not interested, I'm not involved, I don't give a shit about what was in there.
I knew saying so wouldn't solve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted at my pointless howling. However, my emotions had broken through the dam, and I couldn't stop them anymore. He really likes dam metaphors, doesn't he?
I wonder why. I didn't have any interest in this, in any of this from the start, damn it! All I wanted to do was watch Rika-chan's performance. You were the one who pulled me away from that, weren't you, Shion?
Damn it, is he supporting the dam
project? It was a rat's ass whether
disappear?
Those two were trying to steal something or try to meet up secretly or whatever. That's right. You're the one who made me go in there in the first place, Shion. You were all, Kei-chan, you need to see what's inside, and you convinced me and just pulled me in. Why the hell did you do that? I don't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you going to do, damn it? How are you going to take responsibility for this, huh? Hey, are you listening? Ah!
What a dick.
Click. Without any warning, the phone cut off with the soft sound of a receiver being slammed down.
Real Casanova here.
I mean, Shion basically did just tell him, hey, you're gonna die.
No. There's a key difference. Shion said, we're gonna die.
Oh,
you gotta
you're
understand.
Right. Well, if it's Mion, then she basically said, you're gonna die. Anyway, Shion was just as terrified as I was. I just said some really self-centered things. My riled-up emotions disappeared as if they'd never existed, and in their place surged waves of deep regret at having run my mouth so irresponsibly. I could try to call out Shion's name from beyond the disconnected phone, but it was too late. What have I done? Shion was only trying to tell me as much as she could about this thing, about to descend upon us. As for me, I could only whine like a child about it. What do you mean, like? You... Okay. I went to call her back, but what? That was the right-facing arrow. That one wasn't my fault. I went to call her back, but then remembered she lived in Okinomiya. I didn't know her phone number. Since I had declared to Mion that I hadn't seen Shion last night, I couldn't just call Mion and ask her for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't even call her back. I was so stricken with hopeless regret. I returned the receiver to its stand and I simply prayed that Shion would call me back again. Please, Shion, calm down and call me again. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, this is Maibara.
I swept at the receiver as though it wouldn't go through if I didn't grab it at that exact moment. I wonder who this could be. Oh! Hey!
Old man Kimiyoshi! Old man Kimiyoshi! Is this the Maibara residence? Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? Wait.
It's old woman Kimiyoshi.
Old woman Kimiyoshi, okay, close enough.
You got debated, nice.
You've
read this before, how could you?
I don't, it's been a while, man.
No, it hasn't been a while, remember?
It hasn't been a while, and it's being written in real time, you understand. Every read-through is personalized.
It just changed to prove you wrong.
Changed to prove me wrong.
It was the voice of a girl who clearly wasn't Shion. And it obviously wasn't Old Man Kimiyoshi. Like, duh. Come on, man. All my hopes rushed out of me.
Me too, bro.
No, it isn't. If you need that, I'll go call him.
I went to put the receiver back down, but the caller stopped me hurriedly.
Oh, no. If he's busy, then it's fine. This may be a strange question, but is my old man paying you a visit? You know, old man Kimiyoshi, not little girl Kimiyoshi.
No, nobody's here at the moment.
I see. Again, I apologize for calling you so late at night. Goodbye, two ellipses.
Two ellipses, nice. Clack. I don't know who that was, but if Shion tried to call while I was on the phone... But what if Shion tried to call while I was on the... Let me redo that line, I didn't realize the tone. I don't know who that was.
It literally says the tone.
What if the Shion tried to call while I was on the phone? I thought, bubbling with egotistic anger. Hey, wait. Give it a break, Keiichi Maibara. These are the selfish emotions that made Shion mad at me, aren't they? The more I thought about it, though, the more I thought that Shion had given up hope in the short time since we had our conversation and didn't want to call anymore. Calm yourself, Keiichi Maibara. If Shion does call again, then first, apologize in a calm voice.
Over and over.
Over and over, repeatedly, forever. If you do that, then Shion should understand. However, no matter how long I waited, the phone didn't ring again that night. Wow. By the way, what
Take
did
a
you think of
Night
the
shit.
what do you think of the image that I attached with the announcement this time, by the way?
It is truly beautiful. Oh,
It's
hey, more
accurate.
of Takano's.
It made me think of Calvin's dad.
Close calls, form an alliance. That is the achievement I just got. So we got more from Takano's scrapbook. And we got late night phone call. So let's start with Takano's scrapbook first. This is number 6. Who wants this one? I can take it if no one wants it. Okay, the significance of Watanagashi. Watanagashi, a festival of hunting for sacrifices and feasting on them. While the festival itself is remarkable, it has come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps it was because of the disparity between being both an egregious act and a form of entertainment that the perpetrators began to believe themselves transcendent. However, I found some very interesting literature that appears to raise questions about that explanation. As with most oral traditions, it is not easily swallowed, but it does mention a few things that spark my interest. According to this literature, even the residents of Onikakushi village felt fear towards this ritual. Women and children would go pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit, but it is said that the feast, the dissection, was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I thought that the residents of Onikakushi village were fascinated by the Watanagashi ritual. They looked down on those vulgar, barbaric humans, cut them open like fish, and by eating them, they reaffirmed their own holiness. At least, that's what I thought. However, if what the villagers gained from this ritual was not fascination, but fear, then that would suggest that the ritual meant something entirely different. There's the possibility that the executions were meant as warnings, encouraging the villagers to strictly follow religious precepts created by those with power for their own convenience. Onikakushi village has been effectively ruled over by 3 old families, called the Three Families. Wow.
They're very creative with their names.
Without investigating the 3 families, I probably won't get any closer to the truth of Onikakushi village. Alright.
What's the next one about the 3 families?
I would assume most likely.
The next one just says itchy, tasty.
Of course.
I don't even want to think about that.
What? Whoa!
The 3 families.
What?
Whoa!
This is real-time writing, guys. This is real-time
Well, I
writing.
can't believe that the 3 families refers to the 3 old families who effectively came to rule Onikakushi village. To break it down, there was the Kimiyoshi family, the Furude family, and the Sonozaki family, and each of them still exists today.
I don't think you can really say the Furude family still exists.
I mean,
They got one.
They got one.
Yeah.
That's enough.
They're on the board.
They got one
They're on the
tab.
board.
Me when I have to wipe out the Furude bloodline because I'm bored.
Yeah,
So they don't have-
It's just part of that. It's just part of that Watanagashi grind set, bro.
Though they don't have as much control as they did in the remote past, they still hold considerable influence today. The 3 families are considered by legend to be those in whom the blood of the swamp demons runs the thickest. The Kimiyoshi family. The Kimiyoshi family appears to have held great power as the head of the 3 families, but it doesn't have that kind of leadership today. The current mayor of the village, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi, is from this family. The fact that members of the Kimiyoshi family are elected as mayor every generation is thought to be a remnant of the old system. Of course, as no rival candidates appear, it doesn't change the fact that the Kimiyoshi family holds the mayoral office even through popular elections in the post-war era. The Furude family. The center of the village's faith village's faith since ancient times, the Furude clan has guarded the sole shrine dedicated to Orishiro-sama. They were worshipped as the only people to represent the voice of Orishiro-sama for a long time. But as the family branched off after the war and lost most of its power, it now consists only of the main house. The main house, as well, presently consists of only one daughter, Rika Furude, so the lineage may end in this generation. There is apparently an old tradition of honoring females in the Furude family, so the only daughter, Rika, is the subject of much respect among the elderly of the village. The Sonozaki family. It's said that this family had a certain police-like role in protecting the religious precepts of Onikakushi village. Of the three families, their relatively weak position can be seen from me putting them here last. Of course, today, the Sonozaki family is flourishing, and the state of affairs among the three families has completely reversed. Even now, one could say that they are in control of Hinamizawa. The three families conferring with each other is similar to the old way. The current head of the Sonozaki family, Oryu, essentially decides all of the goings-on in the village by herself.
That's hopeful information, actually. Thank you. Alright, and then our last one is late night phone call, which I'm guessing by the background is an Oishi tip. Whoops. This might be actually Old Man Kimiyoshi.
Let's see.
I can do the voice for this if you want.
Yeah, you can do it this time.
I'm gonna try and do like an old voice, but not like
It's gonna turn out
dying
as
of
the
a
girl
heart
again.
attack. Excuse me for the
You're gonna
late
be
call.
dust.
I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? Yes. No, not at all. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Well, you see, I do apologize for calling at this hour, but I was wondering if our old man... Oh, god damn it! Fuck!
I knew it!
But I was wondering if our old man was visiting you at the moment. You've got that right. Yes. Once again, I'm very sorry for calling so late. Goodbye.
Why is she like the nerd emoji incarnate now?
I couldn't think of a voice, okay? I got put on the spot.
Actually, I'm a little girl.
I'm a little girl.
Would you have preferred that voice?
It's
I'm
so
little
real.
girl Kimiyoshi.
Holy shit.
I could do my Tama voice that I've been doing for 428. Anyway,
Oh my god.
click. This is
So,
not...
no good?
I'm not sure what to do. He may be passionate about it, but he always at least gives us a call.
You called everyone who he plays Go with, didn't you?
Bring! Hello, this is Kimiyoshi.
This is Sonozaki. How did it go? Have you found the mayor? What? What?
Yeah, old man Kimiyoshi's the mayor.
Yeah.
He's gone? Oh, Mion-chan. I called everyone I could think of, but I came up with nothing. We can't find him. What do I do? Where could he be idling about? I put a word in with a bunch of people who might have had an idea, but nobody did. I asked Nana about it, and she said we should get the men of the village together to search for him. At this hour? I mean, it's not like he's definitely gone missing. Watanagashi just happened. She thinks we should be a little more cautious. If we still can't find him, then we'll notify the police tomorrow morning. Whether or not we find him, though, we should refrain from making any false accusations. Oryo-san said that? Yes. If you can't trust her without hearing her voice, then I can put her on for you. No, that's fine. I understand. We'll get the men together and search. If we still can't find him, then we will notify the police in the morning. Wait a second. Hold on. Hold up. If she is within walking distance of the head of the family, doesn't that mean she's in Okinomiya? Because I thought it was...
No, the main
No.
Sonozaki house isn't.
The main house.
Hinamizawa.
The main house is in Hinamizawa.
Is it? Because like,
Yeah.
Nana and Oreo are
you might be
different
thinking-
people, right?
I think she's referring to Oreo by Nana since Oreo's her grandmother.
Oh, okay.
You're probably thinking of the Okinomina Yakuza boss style dad of the two of them.
Okay,
of Neo
I thought
and
I thought I was onto something because, like, if she was at the Okinomiya house, that would lend credence to the idea that maybe she was calling from there. Anyway, no, that's fine. I understand. We'll get the men together and search. If we still can't find him, then we will notify the police in the morning. I guess this actually lends credence to the idea that we were talking to Shion, but I'm still a little suspicious.
You could theorize both. Neither of them are technically falsifiable currently, completely.
I suppose. She'll leave it to you to organize the men. I'll be there as well, as Nana's representative. Okay, I guess, yeah, they are the same person. Thank you. I'll get everyone together immediately. Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
I can't believe the mayor got demoned away.
So, in Chapter 1, one person died and one person disappeared. And so far, I want to emphasize, so far, in this chapter, we have 2 dead people and 1 missing person. What the fuck is happening?
Maybe we'll have 4 dead and 4 missing in Chapter 3.
No, nuh-uh. I
It's gonna
said so
exponentially
far.
multiply.
I said
Yeah,
so
it's-
far.
it's going up.
Let's
It's
go.
going up by it's powers of 2.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
6 is not a power of 2 1.
No, it's going to be powers of 2. It's going to
It
be.
is if you want
it's
it
going to
to
be
be.
8.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
said this like on the actual session last time, but I still feel like there's a good chance Rika goes missing. Because she changed out the lock on the storehouse, so she might be seen as responsible for that.
Indirectly. She's responsible enough.
Yeah, I think there was going to be a lot of corpses this chapter.
Kill the child.
Yep.
So
Kill the
many
Beat up the
bodies.
child.
They are rapidly stacking up. We're gonna have a big old pile in the center of town. Anyway,
Maybe we could
Maybe
even
they'll-
have a
maybe they'll-
corpse party of
I was gonna say,
maybe we could
party.
have like a bonfire and do like a bond dance. Anyway.
Ooh. It's just like Dark Souls.
No,
2.
there was no way I'd be able to sleep. It was not like Dark Souls at all, actually. When she hung up the phone,
Hinamizawa is truly the Dark Souls of villages.
no, it's not. I mean, I guess it is actually.
Higurashi is the Dark Souls of mystery visual novels.
It kind of is.
I think that's Tumineko.
When she hung up the phone like that, I realized for the first time what kind of situation I was in, as well as who the only ally who would support me was. I waited with bated breath for Shion to calm down and call me back. What would I do if the phone rang while I was sound asleep? No matter
Then who
how
was
long I
phone?
waited, however, it never rang. Exhausted, whenever my mind started to wander, I would jolt awake as though I heard the phone ring. In the end, I brought the cordless phone with me into my futon and went to sleep with it in my arms. Though it still didn't amount to anything. Morning came, and by that time, I was pretty sure she wasn't calling back. That was when a fierce drowsiness assailed me.
Damn it. This is no time for sleep, Keiichi Mahabara.
Okay, so the sleep deprivation is consistent. Good. Excellent. I slapped myself in the face a few times. Then, I went to the washroom and washed my face, which was something I usually didn't do. Gross. That wasn't enough either, so I even brushed my teeth.
Even?
I even brushed my
What do you
teeth.
mean, even?
What do you mean?
After that,
Look,
Gross.
Keiichi knows about the fluoride they put in toothpaste.
Maybe the fluoride is causing the curse of
the
Oyoshi or someone. He
fluoride
might
is
be
the
right.
culprit. Oh my god. He brushed his teeth and that's what.
Oh no, 9 out of 10 dentists are the culprits.
True. After that, I was finally wide awake. When Mom saw how strange I was acting, her
Oh, that's the
eyes
other-
went wide.
That's the second missing person, the 10th dentist.
This is true.
By the way, I might take a small break soon because I can feel my tummy grumbling.
Have you?
Oh.
Did you eat some? Did some mochi not sit right with you?
Oh no, I haven't had the chance to eat dinner yet, so I might,
Okay.
sneak off for a few minutes to shove a whole roast chicken down my throat. Anyway,
What's wrong, Keiichi? Are you going somewhere today?
Yeah. To school.
uh-oh. Uh-oh. We teleported to school, nice.
Keiichi-kun, you don't look so good today. Do you have a cold?
I'm not sick. I just didn't get much sleep. If I space out and start talking nonsense, just humor me.
Nice sleep-deprived voice.
I wonder what kind of nonsense you'll say. I wonder. Now I'm looking forward to it. Huh?
There was a second shooter on the grassy knoll.
Oh my god. I felt utterly shattered, and I still hadn't picked myself back up this morning. And for precisely that reason, Rena's honest smile was a sight for sore eyes. Okay,
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
so... Oh, she does not look very happy. Yo,
And she's probably been searching the whole night.
what's up, Kei-chan? Rena? Good morning.
What? Mi-chan, you look like you didn't get much sleep either.
Don't let her put together the pieces. Rena will make the wrong interpretation.
Rena actually seems surprisingly perceptive this chapter. We didn't really get to talk to her much last chapter. Anyway. Mion had
I remember we
gone...
talked to her too much.
Well, well, here's the thing. She tried to talk to us, and we just kept slamming our fingers in the door, so... Anyway.
A reasonable response, to be honest.
That's my response whenever a woman tries to talk to me, too.
I was about to say.
Anyway.
And signs your Keiichi mail, and is it better than Sigma?
Is it better than Sigma? Absolutely not. It's better than nothing.
It's better than being a female, at least.
Whoa.
Neon are debatable. Neon had gone home early yesterday with a hangover, but she didn't look too good this morning either. Her usual cheerfulness was completely buried in shadow. Yeah, I went to bed at like 3. Girl, same! I'm a little tired.
3? Right after yesterday? Hey now, you can't keep staying up late. You probably read the first volume of a manga, thought it was interesting, then read the entire series, didn't you? I understand. I've done that before.
He's calling out his binge viewers. That can't exist yet because this is the second episode. Anyway, I joked, trying to shake off my sleepiness. I was trying to be considerate. However, neither Mion nor Rena smiled. In fact, they didn't even pay attention.
Binge viewing didn't exist back when this came out.
It definitely did, I promise.
Well, you're wrong.
Rena's expression immediately darkened.
What? Wait, is this about the mayor? He still hasn't been found?
Nope.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you talking about? You can't find the mayor?
Even the classroom, which was normally bursting with bright, joking voices, seemed filled with a different sort of murmur today. Oh hey, it's the goblin.
Okay, fine. Good morning, Keiichi-san. Have you heard? It looks like something terrible has happened.
If you
That
don't
hurts
feel
way more than usual.
if you don't feel it, we can take the voice.
Yeah, don't force yourself.
Okay.
There will be plenty more opportunities in the future to voice the goblin. I mean, the
Don't
next chapter
really
will
know
be
this
focusing
mayor
on
person.
her, so...
But he's an old guy, right? Couldn't he be just wandering around senile?
The mayor is certainly not senile. He's a sprightly man who can teach both calligraphy and swordsmanship.
He probably got lost somewhere, like me. Sleepy Kimiyoshi.
A lost Rika? Oh, I want to take you home with me.
Getting lost is only cute because children like Rika-chan do it. A worn-out old man getting lost isn't moe in the slightest.
Well, speak for
What a
yourself,
lie.
Keiichi.
What a fucking
Jesus
line!
Christ.
Holy shit!
You did screen cap that one. I think that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a pretty
he's
good
not.
one.
Yeah.
Well, my mind entertained dumb thoughts like that. Our teacher
At least he's
arrived.
aware. At least he's self-aware.
Everyone rushed to their seats. Good morning, everyone. Good morning!
Good morning.
The class greeting was normal, but the atmosphere in the room was heavy. Some of you may have already heard, but last night, despite the late hour, the mayor never came home. Is there anyone here who saw the mayor yesterday? One or two hands went up in the silence, and they told her about having seen him. None of it seemed to be vital information, however, and everyone began whispering amongst themselves. If anyone has seen the mayor, please tell an adult about it, alright? Now then, let's begin class. After that, the same old lessons began. Really just speedrunning the school segments now, damn.
There's no time to be learning. They have to die.
It's only a slice of life now.
Kill the children.
Now it's just a slicing off the life.
Destroy them all.
The rumors, once quieted, blossomed in flowers again at lunchtime. I could hear a few different conversations. They were mostly related to the mayor's disappearance. Summing them all up, I came out with this. Yesterday evening, the mayor went to a meeting at the Shrine's Assembly Hall. The meeting ended after the sun had fully set, and everyone left. The elder's house was a bit far from the center of Hinamizawa. It was already late, and Hinamizawa doesn't have a lot of lights outside. Nobody saw the mayor after the meeting. However, because he would have been hungry, he wouldn't have taken any side trips. He would have gone straight home. However, no matter how long his family had waited, he never returned. Some thought there might have been an accident. They left no stone unturned. They searched from the irrigation channels to the water wells, and even in the rice paddies, but they didn't find him. Of course, there was a limit to how far they could search in the middle of the night. The police were going to wait for daylight, and then have the young men of the town help search. If after all that they still didn't find him, they were apparently even going to look in the mountains. Even now, at this moment, the adults were probably all searching for him. The more they searched in vain, and the more time passed, the only thing that came to mind was the curse. The rumors of Onikakushi, of the demoning away. Had he become this year's sacrifice to Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recently been occurring every year? That scary possibility, which everybody thought about, but nobody could say aloud, was surely spreading throughout the village. Was he demoned away and offered as a sacrifice to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger? My classmates were whispering to each other that the curse didn't happen this year, so there shouldn't have been any sacrifices. I, on the other hand, I knew. The curse did happen again this year, and there were 2 people that died. This may sound strange, but I hadn't exactly thought the Elder would be the one to go missing. My reason was clear. Shion and I should have been a higher priority than him. The 4 of us were thieves that broke the taboo and set foot in the sacred ritual storehouse. If Tomatake-san and Takano-san had suffered mysterious deaths, then it should have been my and Shion's turn next.
This time should have been Shion and me. Eh?
Oh, you said that out loud. Great job, Keiichi. I laughed painfully to myself. Thank you for laughing painfully to yourself. I'd yelled at Shion over the phone that I didn't want to end up in such a terrifying situation, but now that someone other than me had disappeared, I could only think that I should have been the first to go. Onikakushi, the bottomless swamp said to have been the place where they drowned sacrifices long ago. Just as it ran through my thoughts, the villagers must have also considered the swamp. Maybe the police divers were plumbing its depths even now. They probably wouldn't find anyone. Not a single missing person had ever been found. They'd always suspected Onikakushi, but not once had they ever turned up a corpse from it. After all, it was a devilish, bottomless swamp from which no one who sinks can ever return. I could hear someone telling their friend that in the classroom.
Now that you mention it, Satoshi-san, he left around this time last year, didn't he?
Huh? Satoshi? I've heard that name before. He was... Right, he disappeared because of last year's curse. The conversation was happening in the seat next to me, so I could hear it clearly.
Didn't we search the whole village like this for Satoshi-san, too? We didn't find him either. What did we decide that was? A demoning away, right?
Yeah, I heard he withdrew all his savings and ran away from home. Someone from the police station said there was someone who saw him get on the bullet train at Nagoya Station.
Ran away, huh? I wasn't that interested in the reason, which seemed understandable in this case. Everyone else who disappeared had their own reasons too. Either they were still on the run because they were criminals, or they were a corpse that couldn't be found. It's not like any of them suddenly disappeared into thin air for no reason. But they disappeared. Someone disappeared whenever the curse took a life, as if by design. They may have had various understandable reasons, but they still disappeared. From that point of view, it really might have been a demoning away this time. The mayor's disappearance was the first such incident without a clear reason behind it. Of course, coming to that realization didn't help to resolve anything. Oh, hi, Rena.
It looks like I messed up the seasoning today. Sorry.
Normally, Rena's lunch would have been devoured immediately, but today there was still a ton left. That wasn't because Rena's lunch didn't taste good or anything, though.
That isn't the case. Your lunch today is as delicious as always.
Satoko dips her chopsticks into Rena's bento box and pulls bits of food out one after the other.
Yes, delicious indeed. Today in particular, in fact. Chomp chomp.
Chomp chomp.
You know those are pumpkin croquettes, right? Are you okay?
Is she allergic?
Yes. If it's your pumpkin, then it's delicious.
Did
She has
Sadako
gourd
dislike
intolerance.
pumpkin? Regardless, she forced herself to smile and shoved more into her mouth. Why do I feel like this is going to be important later for no reason?
Because Keiichi will nickname her Pumpkin. That's why it'll be important.
Oh, sure.
But she's not the one with orange hair.
Keiichi will start talking like a little old lady and call her Pumpkin.
This just seems like a type of random detail that will be relevant like 20 hours later. Anyway, pumpkin croquettes sound fucking delicious. I could go for some of those right now. Everyone knew. Nobody's lunch tasted very good today. Sadako kept shoveling it down, repeating her remark on how good it was.
If it's that good, then I guess I gotta have some too. Sadako's gonna eat it all if we let her.
It's just so good. So I would certainly like it if Keiichi-san were to eat some as well.
Well, sometimes I have to show my adult generosity, right? Okay, don't hold back on my account. Eat enough for the both of us today.
This scene feels weird because it's
the
like
mood is
goofy,
back to normal.
It's like a goofy club scene, but like there's no music, so this just feels weird.
They're just trying to get back to normal.
I know. It's a good use of that.
Yeah.
She really, really hated pumpkin, didn't she? That made it all the more touching to see Sadako's own brand of generosity. I grabbed her head and started stroking it. Sadako, in a somewhat exaggerated
TMI, Keiichi.
was bawling, tears streaming down her face.
No way. You'll never grow up if you give away such good food. Rena, you eat too. I only have leftover vegetable stew, but it tastes great after having sat overnight.
I can understand that.
The daikon radish has such a pretty color going through it. It looks delicious. I guess I'll have some then.
It looks delicious. That's how you know Keiichi didn't cook it. Rena reached out with her chopsticks, and at last, the usual lunchtime atmosphere began to return. That was only at our desks, however. The dark tales of Oyashiro-sama's curse, which had recurred for 5 years in a row, didn't cease. The whole classroom remained stuck in this somber mood. Also, Mion hasn't talked at all. Oyashiro-sama's curse had happened for 5 years straight. Everyone had wanted the previous year to be the last. What was Oyashiro-sama's curse anyway? They were going to build a dam in Hinamizawa. The people building it were bad, so they were cursed. I would admit that much. Still, the dam project was frozen years ago, wasn't it? So why was the curse stubbornly persisting? I hit myself on the cheeks to perk myself back up. When we get to chapter transition, I'll take like a 10-minute break to stuff my face, and then come back. Just
it's gonna be a while, buddy.
Oh, is it? Should I just take a break now?
I mean, this is the lunch thing, right? So it's like even if the club doesn't happen, there's still the evening of the day, and the chapters usually cover about a day each. So
okay, maybe I should just yeah. Let's take like 10. So 7:23 for me. All right, I will see you guys then.
Sounds good. Take care of yourself.
Don't die, did.
Wow.
Wow.
I have basic human needs. Crazy.
Congratulations.
Hey, Wallcroft, I have better two-sentence horror for you. Is everyone here?
Here.
Yes.
I think GM fell in. The bottomless
Did you
swamp.
hear the joke about the three logicians that went into the bar?
No.
The bartender asked them, "What do you guys want? A beer?" And the first one said, "Maybe." And the second one said, "Maybe." And the third one said, "Yes."
I don't get it.
Because the first one didn't know whether they all wanted a beer, because he did want a beer, but he didn't know if the other two wanted a beer yet. And then the second one also wanted a beer, but didn't know if the third one wanted a beer. So the first two had to answer maybe. And the third one, also wanting a beer, was able to confidently answer yes, knowing that all three of them did in fact want a beer.
I see. That makes sense. Maybe.
Whereas, like, if any of them didn't want a beer, they could have just said no.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna continue on. GM, by the way, if you're here, you're muted. Everyone was trying so hard to brighten the mood. I couldn't go straight back to thinking about the curse like that.
I was AFK, but I have returned from Onikakushi Swamp with
Welcome
a brisket
back.
sandwich.
No one's ever come back from there.
Yeah, you
can't
that.
lie to us.
Get back in your swamp, boy.
Sorry, the brisket was that good. That's why no one's ever come back.
This tastes like pumpkin, my ill-mannered goblin, mouthful of cake, blurted out as she ate her last meal. I remember the original of this, it's so good.
So bad.
This tastes like almonds, my ill-mannered wife, mouthful of cake, blurted out as she ate her last meal. That would be the almond extract. I responded as I pulled the pin from the grenade and slid it across the floor. Anyway, let's move on. I forced the grim story out of my head.
Legitimate, what the hell are we even talking about at this point?
Looking when they post. Driving Oyashiro-sama's curse out of my thoughts was actually a good idea. In the end, that meant I would also be driving away the most terrifying thought of all, that I could be the curse's next target.
Mia's taking a while, isn't she? How long does it take to wash your hands?
Miana said she was going to wash her hands and left, and she hadn't come back yet.
She's probably taking a little afternoon nap somewhere. I think she was up pretty late last night looking for the mayor, after all.
I smiled wryly and let out a sigh. Today was no good. Also, somehow drinking water made my throat, like, worse. I don't know how that happened. However much we tried to lighten the mood, things always came back to the mayor. So, and if I cough, that's why. I need to chug more water.
It was definitely the fluoride.
Definitely.
It was just a no good day on account of the fluoride in the water in Hinamizawa. I had just transferred here recently, so the shock of a curse happening 5 years running was an unimaginably big one. Maybe I do need to appreciate that.
When Michan was really little, the mayor would always spoil her. When she was going through her prankster phase, he loved her like he loved her like his own daughter. She's told me that often.
Her prankster phase isn't over. I see. Mion was in shock too. Someone disappearing at all because of a curse was a very scary thing. If the sacrifice was someone you knew, though, then the shock must be 100 times worse. God damn it, I need to drink more water. Satoko, as if she'd come to the same conclusion, bit her lower lip and looked downward.
Oh, Rika-chan is taking a while too. Maybe they're taking a nice afternoon nap together.
Oh, Mion is murdering Rika-chan behind the school.
Rika wasn't out that late. As soon as she yawned, everyone gathered around her and started saying, "Good night, good night."
Now that she mentioned it, there were a lot of old people rubbing their prayer beads in fervent gratitude towards Rika-chan during the festival, too. An image of the indulgent elderly came to mind. Had Rika-chan discovered a way to get herself to be pampered like that? Huh?
Is there a reason the old people treat Rika-chan like an idol? Is she their ideal image of her granddaughter or something?
I don't know anything about that. But I want to see Rika-chan yawning. It's probably all like, what? I want to take her home.
Yay, happy fun club time, yay!
I don't personally think it's that cute. It's more of a wah. And she opens her mouth really wide and you can see down the back of her throat.
Rika-chan's giant yawn. How?
When it's handy at times like these, I finally managed a heartfelt laugh. Oh, right. I'm on day duty, aren't I? I need to go water the flower garden. The garden is right outside the teacher's lounge, too, so they can immediately tell if you don't do it right.
I think Satoko-chan is cute. Not only Rika-chan. Giant yawn.
The dialogue has been substantially more unhinged this chapter, I feel.
Breathe.
Oh, I got a glimpse. It was so cute. Satoko-chan is cute too. I'm gonna take you home.
Rena was strangling Sadako. I don't think that counts as yawning. You know, Rena is... I can't say it out loud, but she's a notorious... censored, isn't she?
Oh my god.
Excuse me?
She's a notorious B.I.G.
I feel like I should have screenshotted that. I'm gonna screenshot it from here. What? Hearing Satoko make a weird
She's
noise.
notorious.
Hearing Satoko make a weird noise like a chicken being strangled was kind of hilarious, and I couldn't help but laugh. At some point, the classroom had erupted into laughter too, because strangling is really funny.
Strangling Satoko in particular is hilarious.
I was strangling. Yeah, I was about to say.
Maybe Rena was doing it on purpose. Even if she wasn't, this nonsense was a welcome sight. Anyway, let's go over to the flowers while I still have time. Slowly and quietly, lest I destroy the room's newfound peace, I left the classroom. The watering can was hanging up outside the kitchen. The building had originally been an all-male forestry service building, so there was apparently nothing so thoughtful as a garden here before. When they decided to have a school share the space, they built one there as a modest gesture of appreciation. But, well, the flower bed, it was a little longer than you'd expect. It went all around. It went all over the place. It was so big, one would need to refill the watering can 5 or 6 times to get it all done. Jesus Christ! How small is your watering can? I was doing this together with a kid who was also, thankfully, on day duty today. She was in the lowest grade, though, and a full size smaller than even Rika-chan. I couldn't even imagine a kid who would struggle just to lift the full watering can help me with this. Sorry, I couldn't make a kid who would struggle just to lift the full watering can help me with this. If you were placed on day duty with someone who liked this sort of thing, they'd do it all for you, so it'd be cake.
No point in blaming Kara. I give up. I'll just get started.
Watering can in hand, just as I was about to leave the building, the old man from the forestry service addressed me.
Sonny, there's a vegetable garden behind the warehouse, right? It's all just about dried up. Water that too, would ya?
Man, this guy from the forestry service sounds oddly like Oishi.
Oh, did you mean that
Like,
curry vegetable garden? The
like
one
a
with the
younger,
potatoes
slimmer
and carrot?
Oishi.
And other things that are only ingredients for curry. Potatoes and carrots are not only ingredients for curry. What are you talking about?
Beef stew is just a type of curry, you gotta understand.
And Chia
Fries
would
are
come out
also
of the
curry.
monitor and kill you for saying that.
It's definitely the personal garden of our curry-loving teacher, but making students responsible for its upkeep is getting them involved in her personal affairs. I couldn't say that to his face, though, so I gave up and decided to carry out my day duties. The sunlight out front was strong. The great chorus of cicadas was strongly underlining how nothing was different today than yesterday.
Nothing ever happens, you understand.
I passed by the classroom, and I don't know how it happened, but Rena and Satoko were in the middle of a huge melee. Rika was not there. She was busy getting murdered by Mion.
I'm partial to brawl myself.
While I was gone, the kids had all arranged desks in a circle, forming a ring, while everyone was cheering them on. Yeah, that's how it should be. Once school ended, we would need to return to reality, where talk of the Elder's disappearance would once again be all over the place. I wanted everyone to forget about everything and have fun, just like yesterday, if only while they were at school. In that sense, Sadako's rolling elbow and Rena's backwards flying spin kick made for a pleasant sight. Even if, as a result, they flipped over my desk. Ah, that's my pencil box! I'll just let it happen today. I like how he's more concerned about his pencil box than his friends doing flying spin kicks at each other.
That's just normal, to be fair.
That's normal in Hinamizawa.
I set to work, hastily watering everything, wanting nothing more than to be done as soon as possible. That should about do it. No sooner had I thought that, than I remembered that I had to water the teacher's curry vegetable garden too.
It's such a pain, but I have a feeling that it'll come back to bite me if I don't.
I gave up, filled the can with water again, and headed behind the warehouse. This was a place students didn't like to go. It was always damp here, and you couldn't discard the possibility of slugs and pill bugs being around. This sounds like a place that American
Isopods
students would love
mentioned.
to go, but...
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, we caught her right in the middle of her murder. Hi, Rika. So when I ran across her in a place like this, I was surprised.
Whoa! Oh, it's Rika-chan. Don't scare me like that.
Rika-chan was just standing there like a puppet, whose strings had not yet been cut, devoid of life. I was the only one who was startled here. Rika didn't even seem to react to my appearance.
Rika-chan?
Finally, she noticed me. Her expression was clearly abnormal. There was red under her eyes, stained with tears and dirt. There were blades of grass stuck in her hair too, and her clothes looked as though she'd fallen to the ground.
Rika-chan? Are you hurt? Did you fall?
No, that isn't it.
Rika-chan said in the brightest voice she could manage as she rubbed her eyes. She didn't look anywhere near normal, though.
What happened? You weren't sleeping on the storehouse roof and then fell off or anything, did you?
I was collecting slugs and pill bugs. Don't worry about me. I have something I want to ask you, Keiichi.
Mion definitely beat her up, didn't she? Oh my god, wow. This early? Anyway.
I will not say who did or did not beat the shit out of me earlier.
Rika-chan walked over and clung to me. At first, I thought she was playing a trick on me. Eventually, however, I realized that it was so that I wouldn't run from the question she was about to ask, and I shuddered.
What do you want from me?
She looked straight into my eyes. Her upturned eyes bored right into me. It was as though they were trying to pull the answer out of my own eyes without actually asking me the question.
It was as if.
As though. My bad.
As though.
Whew. They didn't say as if, so it doesn't count.
What's Ligma?
Ligma balls, Keiichi. It was scary, so I averted my eyes from hers.
Keiichi, did you do something bad on the night of the festival?
My body gave a jolt from its very core. Rika-chan, who was clinging to me, might have felt my shiver. A nervous tingle crawled up from my feet, and after going up my back and freezing my entire body, it made its way into my brain.
Keiichi, do you really not remember?
My head began to throb. I don't understand anything. Mion asked me. Oishi-san asked me. Shion asked me. And now Rika-chan was asking me. We thought nobody knew about what we did last night. But, in fact, everyone knew. They all knew. And they came to ask me.
Why? Because you're a shit liar, Keiichi.
Again and again, until I admitted it. When I thought about it, it was pretty clear the whole thing was out in the open. After all, don't Tomatake-san and Takano-san's deaths prove it? If there is actually like a supernatural mind-reading element here, Keiichi is so fucked. He's fucking ruined everything.
Keiichi?
How should I respond? We never should have entered the Forbidden Storehouse. And even though I regretted it so much, was she saying it wasn't enough? However, I had all but decided what I was going to say.
I'm not exactly a good kid, you know? I've done lots of bad things, so I can't remember anything specific.
Just as I had with all the others, I evaded the question. Rika-chan stared up at me with innocent eyes. Her eyes were so painful that I had to look away. After a few moments of mutual silence, Rika-chan released me.
I'm sorry for asking you something strange. Please, forget about it.
Rika
like
definitely got the answer
storehouse.
she was expecting. Oh no. She said, smiling her usual smile. Then, tap, 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 she went running off as if nothing had happened. Sorry, tap, tap,
I'm
tap,
going to-
tap.
I'm going to get beaten up by Mion again now.
Indeed. As she retreated in silence, I could feel her accusing me.
Your mom gay.
Rika-chan,
If she didn't hear my voice, then I was going to give up. However, she heard it. Rika-chan swiveled around and waited for me to continue. I was the one who had questions now. Still, asking any of them could just be a half-assed way of admitting what I did.
hey, Rika-chan.
What is it?
She smiled when she said that. Uh-oh. If everyone knows anyway, then I should be able to at least ask this, right? Why is everyone asking me about the night of the festival? That evening, had I done something that wrong? I felt plenty sorry about it, and I only looked anyway. I didn't break anything or steal anything. Really. Still, Tomatake-san and Takano-san, they died so miserably. Since those two had come to such an end, there's obviously no way it would forgive me. Rika-chan
Ellipses.
cutely tilted her head in confusion and waited for me to say something. If I were to admit what happened that night, though, she might suddenly do a 180 as if flipping a switch.
I'm going to do a flip, Keiichi.
Do a kickflip, Rika! That would make sense. Rika-chan was the Shrine Maiden. She was the least likely to forgive me for breaking the taboo, wasn't she? Upon reflection, wouldn't telling her be more terrifying than telling Mion or Oishi-san? Rika-chan could just give up and leave, couldn't she? She didn't. She only was quietly waiting for me to say it myself. Say it, Keiichi Maebara. If you really are sorry, then you should say so.
Several times.
Of course, it's normal to hesitate given the crazy way Tomatake-san and Takano-san died. A pulping machine called Chaos was grinding up at my brain.
You need to kill Chaos, Keiichi.
Chaos Warrior! The juice wrung out of it, turned into big droplets of sweat, which began to fall.
Keiichi.
Rika-chan suddenly straightened up, trying to pat me on the head.
I don't really understand what you're worried about, Keiichi.
I had nothing to say to that. I lowered my head a little so that Rika-chan's palm could reach it. She petted me, kind of like one would a cat.
Do you know
Is
about
that
the
going
big
to be relevant?
storehouse a little way behind the shrine grounds? It's towards the implements we use for rituals.
Is she about to mention something about the light going on? My breath literally stopped.
As opposed to figuratively.
Rika-chan, though, wasn't acting in a coercive way at all.
Apparently, on the night of the festival, a cat snuck into the storehouse.
Just
Huh?
like, just like how you
petting
pet
him.
me. Just like how she pet me. She knows.
I mean, obviously
He
she
knows,
knows.
kill her.
It's not exactly
Yes.
rocket science.
A cat. Meow, meow.
Thank you, Rika. Very cool. Rika-chan knew. She realized I was in fear. I could tell she was desperately trying to choose the right words so that she wouldn't scare me.
The cat always wanted to explore inside the storehouse, but I was mean to it and never let it go inside. So, on the night of the festival, the cat couldn't hold itself back any longer and went inside.
The cat. It was clearly supposed to be Takano-san.
It always wanted to explore inside the storehouse.
It was clearly supposed to be Takano-san, even though she pet me as if I was a cat.
Maybe
Or-
she pet Mio the same way.
Was it supposed to be me?
Inside, there were actually lots of things that scared the cat.
Rika-chan made a cute gesture like a ghost was coming out to frighten me.
The cat was both terrified and amazed. It ran away as fast as it could. Clatter, clatter, shiver, shiver. Meow, meow. It was terrible.
Meow meow.
This cat. Who are you saying it was?
The cat is a cat. Meow, meow.
Rika-chan still avoided saying it. The cat, though, was without a doubt me.
Rika-chan, please tell me. The cat. What should it do now?
Maybe it was a desperate question to ask. I had sort of admitted to being the cat.
The cat is just a cat, so it can just keep meowing, and everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. That's stupid.
Shouldn't it just keep meowing?
Jeez. Rika-chan and I have put together an entire conversation using cat as a code word. I didn't say it directly, but I had already admitted it. I didn't want to end up like those two. I didn't want to be a sacrifice, like Shion said. That's what I thought, so I stubbornly remained silent. But now, that's enough.
Can't just keep meowing. The dog saw the cat making mischief and sneaking inside.
The dog. What the dog doing?
That's right. It was the dog. It keeps coming to the cat and trying to get it to say that it's not inside.
After I
Poor
said that,
Lakees.
Rika-chan's expression clouded over. She was trying to hide it, but I'd already noticed her eyes darkening.
Rika-chan,
The silence was frightening, so I spurred her on. At that point, Rika-chan grinned.
It's alright. I'll protect the cat.
Huh? I thought for a moment that I had misheard those words. So dependable they were.
The cat is really scared, but it really isn't all that bad. I think all of the dogs are just misunderstanding.
It's not all that bad.
The cat is worrying too much. I'll do something about it for sure. If the dogs cause too much trouble, I'll just get the ATF.
Oh, okay. I mean, you could just call the regular cops for that.
I don't think the ATF even has jurisdiction over dogs. But yeah.
When has the
They have shot
ATF ever
dogs.
cared about
They
jurisdiction?
have shot dogs. Yeah, well, they get a jurisdiction.
When have they
Okay,
ever
they can
cared?
dogs, but they can't arrest them or prevent them from doing it.
They can't arrest dogs.
In fact, they might even be arming the dogs in the first place.
Okay, okay, moving on. This metaphor has gotten a little out of hand. Rika-chan will do something about it? I don't even know left from right at the moment. So Rika-chan didn't look all that dependable.
It might be hard, but I'll do my best. Go for it. Yay!
She clenched her fist and stuck it in the air. Rika-chan said
She
that
said
the
her
cat can
catchphrase.
just keep meowing. She said to leave it all to her. She does actually have a catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase?
Is that a reference to Tally Ho?
Yo! We're finding so many
He's
connections.
just been
with that
so depressed he
podcast.
hasn't even said tally ho once in this session.
Yeah.
Yeah, his famous catchphrase that he said like every line in chapter 1. Damn.
Yeah. Because he's been depressed.
Is that really all it took to resolve this whole thing?
That's
You-
right. This is the last chapter.
Yeah, you can't see it, but I'm like violently shaking my head right now.
Will you really be alright, Rika-chan?
If I don't do my best, then something bad could happen to the dogs, too.
I had no idea what Rika-chan was talking about anymore. She had been talking to me under the assumption that I was aware of certain things. So at first, I understood her. Around the middle, though, I stopped understanding anything.
That seems to be a common problem for you, Keiichi.
However, one thing I did know was to not worry and to leave it to her. Rika-chan straightened up once again, patted me on the head, and smiled. Remember, she only pats people on the head to console them. Don't forget that. I was so moved by that reassuring feeling that I couldn't help but start to cry.
I'm sorry. The cat, it really was just a little bit of mischief. I didn't think any of this would.
It's too much of a scaredy cat. That's why it should never have seen the storehouse.
She was right. It was far too shocking for someone to see based on a little bit of interest alone. That's why they made it so difficult to look at in the first place, wasn't it?
Rika-chan, what will happen to the cats? The cat. 2 of the cats that snuck in, well, that night
I'd heard Tomatake-san and Takano-san's deaths were being kept a secret. Rika-chan might not have known about it. Very doubtful that she doesn't know about it.
Tomatake and Takano?
Oh yeah, there we go. I gave a start at the sudden mention of actual names. Though it's weird to do that at this point.
Oh,
You should forget about them.
My spine froze again. Yo, THP, is that a... I'm not gonna say that.
forget.
I
Is
don't
it a
even know.
Vermintide reference?
There we go.
Yes. It won't do you any good to remember those 2, Keiichi. The more you think about it, the scarier it will get. So you should forget about them as soon as possible.
She said something so enormously terrifying, without letting the smile on her face waver at all.
I don't know where you heard about it from, but you should forget everything. Make your mind as clean as a scrubbed bathtub. One that, is actually used, unlike yours.
Forget. Rika-chan, you know, don't you? You know how those 2 died.
No matter how they died, it has nothing to do with you, Keiichi.
Rika declared this in a flat voice. Nothing to do with me. So forget about it. The girl before me, she was innocent and lovable, and even seemed trustworthy. But suddenly she took on another dimension. Don't get involved with their deaths. I'll help you, Keiichi. Those 2 contradictory statements twisted and distorted my image of the girl in front of me.
What about Shion? What'll happen to her?
It might have been dangerous to mention Shion's name, but I couldn't stop myself from asking. Rika-chan saw through everything anyway. What a line! Wow. There was no way I was going to fool her or keep anything from her at this point.
I have eyes everywhere, Keiichi. The younger of the sister cats? Meow, meow.
Yeah, the little sister cat.
Rika-chan appeared to think upon this for a moment. It was hard for me to endure even this momentary silence.
The big sister cat is angry. The little sister cat did something bad, so she's really mad.
Big sister cat.
That could only mean Mion. I recall being questioned by her yesterday.
Keiichi, the big sister cat is not in a good mood at all. I think we should leave her alone for a while. I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, almost forgot that she got beaten up, or at least appeared to have been beaten up by Neon. Not in a good mood. Those words sent a shiver through me. Neon was mad. She was mad that we entered the ritual storehouse.
Let's stop having club from now on.
Huh? Why?
I think we should leave her alone.
We're getting so many new Rika expressions. What is happening?
She's very resolute.
Rika-chan ended her sentence with such force that I couldn't say anything in response. Hey, Keiichi Maebara, don't disobey Rika-chan right now. She's the only one who said she'll help me right now. I'll leave things to her, just as she said to. I mean, she even said that the cat should just keep meowing. I'll forget everything, like she said. I'll leave everything to her. I'll forget everything about Takano-san and Tomitake-san and what I did that night. Just then, we heard a bell far away, marking the end of our lunch break.
I guess we should go back to class.
I'm feeling a massacre incoming after this conversation. Oh no. How badly did we fuck up? As if she had noticed how miserable I was. About to leave.
As if
she had noticed how miserable I was. About to leave everything to her and flee the scene. Rika-chan called out to stop me.
if the misunderstanding dog comes to try to bite the cat, please tell me, okay?
The misunderstanding dog. She put it in such a cute-sounding way, but the true meaning behind those words was an eerie one.
Who is the misunderstanding dog?
The dog that bit the mayor. I don't know why it did that. If it was going to bite anyone, it would have been the trickster cat first.
The flow of blood in my body felt like it completely stopped for a moment. Rika-chan had admitted it. The sacrifices of that terrible calamity. She admitted that if they were to happen again, it would be Shion or I. I didn't know what was true about the girl standing before me. My suspicion gave way to fear, and nearly began to change into anger. Was she a savior who would protect me? Or a stranger trying to capture and kill me for the sake of a horrible tradition? I had no idea what was true.
I'm sorry. The cat is already scared, and I said something to scare it even more. I'm really sorry.
Rika-chan bowed so quickly, it looked like her head had been pulled downward. Almost as if she were a puppet whose strings had not yet been cut. Still, she was right. I was cowering. I could distinctly feel my body shaking violently. So when Rika-chan reached her hand out to pat me on the head, I pulled away without thinking.
4 ellipses.
Thank you. Rika-chan made a very sad face, but I just couldn't bring myself to put out my head for her again.
Or even apologize. Incredible.
That day, Rika-chan said she wasn't feeling up for club activities, so she suggested that we don't bother. There's always vetoes when someone doesn't feel up to it. Rena and the others seemed really disappointed. The big sister cat is not in a good mood. I remembered Rika-chan's words, and quietly stole a glance at Mion's expression. She has blood all over her face. If I could forget the way she questioned me yesterday, though, her behavior was the same as it always was.
Take a shit.
I'm glad we got more Rika dialogue this chapter.
This
that
was some
good.
really good Rika dialogue.
Eating into your confirmation bias.
It is feeding into my confirmation, but actually it's kind of not, because I said Rika-chan was the culprit, right?
You think Rika is the man behind the slaughter?
Well, I said that, like...
I mean, she is purple.
Purple reference.
She's more blue, but
I mean,
She could be purple.
she definitely knows some stuff that
She
we
could
don't.
be.
But then
she
again,
could be
everybody
mistaken-
knows stuff that Keiichi doesn't, so...
She could be mistaken for purple if you're colorblind.
I am, but also, if she jumps in a dark alley,
She
it could be purple.
Okay, then.
Like under an near an orange street light, so there's orange light.
Okay, now this next sentence might be the most relatable thing Keiichi has ever said. After dinner, without the energy to watch TV, I climbed into the futon of my bedroom and let my head be overtaken by gloomy thoughts.
He's just
So
like me, for real, for
relatable.
real.
Actually,
He's
so relatable.
just like
God
me.
damn. I told Rika-chan anything and everything. She had seemed trustworthy at the time, but had that really been the right choice? The more I looked back on it, the less I understood what Rika-chan was saying. Not only did she know about Takano-san and Tomatake-san's deaths, but she spoke of them as if she were a concerned party. After all this time, in my futon, I began to tremble fiercely. Had I been lured in by Rika-chan's sweet smile and told her things I shouldn't have? I should have continued to feign ignorance. I shouldn't have shown her such a weak side of me. My emotions are a mix of regret and fear, and I colored the darkness of the night with an additional layer of terror. Suddenly, a knock! It was Rika-chan, with a ritual hoe.
Under an orange light.
I might have yelped. That's how surprised I was.
Keiichi, I've been calling your name for a while. You have a phone call. It's from Sonozaki-san.
Crazy that Dad... They sound so alike. It was Dad.
They
You
really
can
do.
really tell he's his father's son.
Mm.
I reached out for the cordless phone through the gap in my door. Wait, did you just say gap? Is that...
is that an Umaneka reference?
Sonozaki-san. Which one? The older sister or the younger? I don't know. Ask her yourself.
I took the receiver and buried myself in my futon again.
Hello? Mion? Or is it Shion?
It's me, Shion. Good evening. The fact that she paused before saying that is... I don't like that.
Twin mystery. Twin mystery.
Oh! But I still can't tell if it's her or not. Oh man, this is
But-
rough.
But Shion is dressed completely differently. You couldn't possibly mix them up.
That's how. Yeah, you couldn't mix them up.
Hmm.
I do think the fact that they were dressed differently at the festival at the very least means that both of them were at the festival, but like,
They were actually
They
just
could've
What if she just
swapped.
changed?
one of them.
Yeah, but they could've
Very
swapped.
quickly.
Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna
They might
stop
not even
making
have stopped there.
noises about it.
Could not even be a Shion.
I can
it
think
could all
about.
just
I
be
can
one
think about
person.
this more later. I
could
practically
always be a
jumped out
third
of
one.
bed.
Where is Threon?
Where? That's her name is Prion.
Well, actually, no. Me, right? Me is 3, and she is 4. So it'd be Goon or Goon.
No.
Wait. There's at least 4 of them.
There's at least 4 of them.
Well, yeah, but like the fourth sister is Prion, right? So.
No, because me is 3 and she is 4. So that means there's Ichion and Neon.
I see. It was Shion, who I had hoped so desperately would call me back last night.
Shion, I'm sorry about last night. I got all riled up.
I heard what sounded like a deep sigh on the other end.
You and me are in the same position, aren't we? I shouldn't have blamed you for everything like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, so please, cheer up.
I called you because I'm in a better mood. If you're sorry, then I'll forgive you, so please stop apologizing. Shion's tone still sounded a little angry, but for the moment, she said she'd forgive me. You're right too. We're tied to the same fate. Making sure the other is alright is the only way to guarantee our own safety. This line is gonna be fucking hilarious if this is actually Mion we're talking to. This is gonna be hilarious later, just wait.
Yeah, I agree.
See, even Keiichi agrees with me.
Yeah, Ryukishi just wrote that.
Yeah, he just wrote that just now. We absolutely need to share whatever information we have, so that we don't die like Takano-san and Tomitake-san did.
They have to share. You gotta understand.
Oh, if I have to.
You have to talk about the crimes we committed over the phone.
So many of Shion's lines. So many of Shion's lines on the phone are giving absolutely rancid vibes. Anyway, I forced myself to swallow a solid drop of saliva. Then, let's continue from where we left off. You'll listen without getting angry this time, right?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Firstly, it seems sneaking into the ritual storehouse was more of a taboo than we thought. Takano-san and Tomitake-san's miserable ends, terrible enough that you could call them a warning, they were more than enough to make me believe that. The culprits killed those two, the ones responsible for sullying the storehouse, and they'll come for us next. I know you want to deny that, but please accept it. It'll be too late to believe me after you've disappeared, okay?
I got it. You can never be too careful, after all.
I don't want to accept it either. To think that sneaking a peek at that museum of torture devices deserves a death like that, I don't want to believe it. That's what a taboo is. For those who honor it, if one breaks the taboo, no matter how small or innocent their intentions were, they wouldn't be forgiven. Let's report anything we notice that seems strange. If we connect all the tiny pieces that we have, then just maybe we'll find out who killed them, or maybe even the truth behind the incidents of the previous years. We could find the key that'll resolve everything.
You're right. You're right about that.
All I was doing was waiting in fear, but Shion had already thought that far ahead. Given how trustworthy she felt, I became embarrassed over how passive I was being. And then I'll start, since I suggested it. I feel like somebody has been watching me lately.
What?
It might be my imagination, but I'll tell you anyway. I think it's just me, but if you feel like you're being watched too, Kei-chan, then maybe it's not just my imagination.
Tired, Shion.
Yeah, I'm a little tired. Sorry.
Shion and Shion.
Well, actually,
Oh.
see the
So
thing
that's what she's named now.
I've been playing a little fun game recently, which is called "Am I actually sleepy or am I just hungry?"
How does that work?
Usually, the answer is that I'm just hungry.
What? I've never had trouble figuring out the difference between the two.
I mean, I totally get bored or hungry, but not sleepy or hungry.
I'm very curious about this game.
Listen,
what are the rules? How can I give it a try?
I've had moments where I'm just like, Man, I'm so tired. I need to go to sleep. And then I eat something, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm fine now.
Food has like the opposite effect on me.
Yeah, no, it's like you go into a food coma, right? You eat a bunch and you have to rest to digest.
Yeah, food gets closer to knocking me out more than make me more alert.
Well, yeah, but if I'm hungry.
Hey,
Anyway.
what is wrong with your body?
Shut up, read the line.
Well, don't worry. At the very least, everything's been fine for me.
I think. As I spoke with Shion, I thought back on today. I had no grounds to say that everything was fine. But Rika said everything would be fine, so... I see. Then I suppose it was my imagination, but... You be careful too, Kei-chan. Be especially careful when you're by yourself in public. I'm in Okinomiya, so I won't be alone very often, but you live in Hinamizawa. There will be a lot of times you'll be alone. Please be extra careful.
I mean, Rika was right about Shion being real, so, she's so far got a track record.
You're right. Yeah, I'll be careful.
Also, about my sister. Has she been acting strange lately? Don't say anything you might regret here, Keiichi.
Your sister. Oh, Mion, right.
Oh, who else? Who else could it have been?
She could have been talking about Goon. What do you mean by acting strangely?
Yeah, don't forget about prion disease. Well, yesterday, she came to me and asked me where I was on the night of Watanagashi.
What? She asked me too, the day before yesterday. I think Mion asked me.
I see. I told her I wasn't there. What did you say?
I did the same thing. I just dodged the question.
Both of us gave a quiet sigh of relief. Or it could be that Mion was giving a sigh of, God fucking damn it, you idiot. And you were giving a sigh.
And he's already admitted to it in the last phone call if that was Mion.
Anyway. I mean, if this was Shion we were calling, we would know, obviously, because she's wearing different clothes.
That's true.
It just
But
makes
also,
sense.
remember when he thought this was gonna be the Mion chapter, and now Keiichi doesn't even remember who Mion is.
Shion's sister? Who's that?
Shion's sister? Oh, right. My best friend? The one I
That
see
girl?
every day?
That-
right now.
The green bitch! The green bitch!
Shion is also a green bitch. That doesn't differentiate them at all.
Well, she could be purple under an orange line.
Oh my god, okay. Ever since the night of the festival, my sister has been acting strangely. We can't be too careful, so just be aware, okay? Shion was acting strangely. Aside from her asking me about the night of Watanagashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary. At least, from my point of view. See, the great thing about twin mysteries is that there's always the possibility of a double fake-out, or even a triple fake-out, or a quadruple fake-out, or just, like, N fake-out.
There could be a third sister.
No, that's not what I meant. I mean that, like, the swap could be a fake-out within a fake-out within a fake-out. Just going down the line forever, and it's great. Anyway.
It's fake-outs all the way down.
Aside from her asking me about the night of Watanagashi, she hadn't seemed too out of the ordinary. At least, from my point of view. Her twin sister, though, was saying she was acting weird. Maybe it was such a slight change that a stranger like me wouldn't be able to notice. How could you
Keiichi too
possibly...
dumb to realize that Rika was that.
How is Keiichi not connecting the dots here? That the only person outside was Mion when Rika was beaten up.
Yeah, like, visibly. Or the fact of, like, not even noticing that, like, oh yeah, she had stayed up really late.
Maybe it was such a slight change that a stranger like me wouldn't be able to notice.
Got it. I'll start being careful. I'll always have Rena with me on my way back from school, so I shouldn't end up alone with Mion very often.
Please, be careful. If there's anything that's bothering you, you can tell me. Well, he said alright.
How? I don't have your phone number.
Alright, you have to say it.
Alright.
Alright, thank you.
Tally ho.
Okay then, is there anything you want to tell me, Kei-chan? Yes, actually.
Any other
tally ho.
crimes you've committed recently, Kei-chan?
Do you have any advice on how to commit tax fraud, Kei-chan?
Kei-chan.
And I think that would be really bad if my sister, Mion, knew about Kei-chan.
Hey, Kei-chan.
Anything that might end up with you getting treated like Rika, Kei-chan?
Hey, Kei-chan, can you give me your bank account? I just need the three little numbers on the back.
Not even the number of the bank account. Just can you give me your entire bank account?
Kei-chan, I need your
Shion
credit
needs
card
your
number.
help.
I need the three little numbers on the back, Kei-chan. And the expiration month and year, if you please.
The expiration month and year that only shows up under an orange light.
Oh my... What is with the orange light? Where is this coming from?
With sodium lamps.
Okay then. Okay then. Is there anything you want to tell me, Kei-chan? My turn. That's right. Maybe I should report on Oishi-san asking me the same question at the library. Oh, that time when you were too slow to escape?
Yeah. Oishi-san asked me pretty forcefully whether I was with Takano-san and Tomitaka-san that night, and whether I had seen you. Oishi-san seemed to have seen the four of us together.
Also, she responded to narration again. Great. That's not weird. From the police's point of view, that would make us the last people who had seen them. I suppose, given that, it's only natural they'd be interested in us. It was only natural, after all.
I evaded the questions then, too. But that might have just made them more interested.
There was no way I could have tricked that sly old fox Oishi-san. My troubled countenance would have only made him even more certain.
Oh, using big words now.
Hey, Shion. Since they're the police, shouldn't we just tell them? I mean, considering our situation, I think having them on our side would be a good thing.
Shion didn't answer right away. For a few moments, all I could hear was her breathing as she thought about it.
Now that I think of it, Oishi-san said there was something possibly shady about Mion. At least, I think that's what he said. Yeah, he definitely did.
As I explained yesterday, the Sonozaki family holds a lot of influence over Hinamizawa. Oishi is under the impression that the whole village, with the Sonozaki family at the center of it all, is responsible for the recurrent freak deaths.
The whole village is behind them, with the Sonozaki family at the center?
Please, don't get angry like you did yesterday, and just listen. I hammered that home before I got too upset. During the Hinamizawa Dam Wars, now on mobile, the priest who everyone was anticipating to lead the anti-dam movement acted as though he were unrelated, so the Sonozaki main house rose up to take charge. My sister told you about all the battles that happened, right?
Yeah. All of Hinamizawa got together and fought as one. They held protests, brought it to court, and even appeared on TV.
In reality, there were many things that happened that were far more extreme. Under the surface, the Sonozaki main house was doing all sorts of illegal things to oppose it.
They were acting illegally?
For For example, they would sneak into the construction site in the middle of the night and steal equipment, or break it, or put sugar cubes in the gasoline tanks of the construction vehicles. That last one is an interesting one, because I heard something the other day about how you can put sugar in, I believe it was concrete, and it'll set much more slowly. So, you know, if you ever want to oppose some construction project,
Sugar has a variety of uses in opposing construction.
indeed.
Yeah, you can eat it, for example.
that's not opposing anything.
You
It's
can,
not-
you can
no,
leave
no,
out.
That
You put it in your
gives you
tea?
the energy to.
Your coffee?
You
Your
can put out like
cookies?
a sugar cube salt lick, and that'll distract the construction workers.
Sugar cube salt lick?
It would give you the energy to keep opposing the construction project.
Okay. If they use goats to carry stuff around, then putting down a salt lick is like pretty distracting, to be fair.
Oh my god. Okay, just read the next line.
Sugar in their gasoline tanks? Why would they?
You don't know? It's practically the representative guerrilla tactic. It was used by underground organizations in France in World War II, for one. I believe this
France.
technique. France. I believe the cement technique I'm talking about was also used in France in World War II. So
Can't you just
Oh,
make
so
other stuff into
France-
cement to just break it, though?
France has a lot
France
of
in-
experience with
With
opposing
weaponizing
things.
sugar. Yeah.
That's not what I was going to say, but alright. When you put sugar in, the engine gets burned out and breaks down.
It has a sugar crash.
That's pretty bad, though, isn't it? It was destruction of property, and nothing less. Weren't they going to flood the entire town?
Also, like, Mion got beaten up as a kid. That makes me think maybe the reason
Too
why
much
Mion
water,
beat up
put it all in
Rika,
Hinamizawa.
maybe the reason why Mion beat up Rika is to, like, pass on the lesson.
Oh, I see. When they beefed up the guard at the construction facility,
Speed running generational trauma.
When they beefed up the
Needless
guard at the
trauma.
construction facility, the family turned to attacking important construction personnel who worked there.
They beefed up the one guard there. No wonder they were getting in trouble.
The government officials who had given permission for the construction, for example, received all kinds of threats. Death threats, prion disease threats, Shion disease threats, Mion disease threats, Gion disease threats. Not just people from the prefectural office, either. Apparently this reached as far as the Ministry of Construction. As far as I heard, they even kidnapped a child once.
Kidnapped?
Yes, the child of an important person in the Ministry of Construction, who was in charge of the Hinamizawa Dam, got spirited away. Then, one day, all of a sudden, he was rescued in the Takatsudo Mountains, which are upstream from Hinamizawa. Apparently, there were never any criminal accusations, but people whispered that it had been a threat to stop the dam construction from happening. Besides that, there were stories about so many different threats that I couldn't possibly list them all.
Ichion disease, Neon disease, Goon disease.
Wow. That's sort of bad, isn't it?
Wow. Right in the middle of the whole thing, the first incident happened. That's when the dismemberment of the construction manager occurred. People whispered that the Sonozaki family had brought out the principal offender. Had bought out the principal offender.
Yeah.
But of course, he fled and they still haven't found him. When you put it that way, the Sonozaki family definitely seemed suspicious. Oishi-san even seems to think that the criminal was erased so that he wouldn't talk. Which is pretty reasonable of him. It's even enough to make me think that the Sonozaki main house is doing some really shady things behind the scenes, even though I'm related to them.
Are you telling me to believe that? That the Sonozaki main house where Mion lives has done all these bad things? You're telling me to believe it?
Datebayo. Even if you don't, Kei-chan, the villagers do. While they oppose the dam in upright and lawful ways, the Sonozaki house did the dirty work for them. Everyone believes that they fought at the front, so they take the brunt of the criticism. So they're respected as sort of heroes of darkness. I think I only really know one part of it. For example, the really bad stuff, like the kidnapping. I think only a handful of people even know about it, including Grandma. The Sonozaki family is secretive, after all.
Secretive, huh?
A family so unforthcoming that even Shion, who is related to them, doesn't know everything about them. The Sonozaki family. Unlike Shion, her older twin, Mion, was deeply involved with everything. And that was not a fun thought to entertain. My sister, though young, was the one who acted as the center of the illegal resistance movement.
Mihon was? What do you mean?
Well, our dad is a big-shot Yakuza. Even when she was little, my sister managed to subjugate a whole bunch of young street rats. And she played all sorts of tricks on them and just generally got in their way.
Mion did that?
Sorry, I had to yawn. Now she's pretty laid back, so it might be hard to imagine. She did everything, from property damage to threats and even acts of violence, and she was picked up for it countless times. Though, since she was a kid, they could get her released pretty easily. She learned that her age could be used as a weapon.
As Vsauce says, have kids commit your crimes.
True. It may have been indiscreet, but I couldn't help but chuckle dryly. She may have been young, but she was certainly still Mion.
That was a little too wet.
Jesus Christ.
Even back then. Okay, I'm done now.
A bit too dry.
No, he said chuckle dryly. So it's gotta be like Sahara Desert. Even back then, she had already been known for her craftiness.
Chuckle droughtily.
It's nothing to laugh about. Please, take this seriously. I feel like I'm doing a Natsuhi voice now. I don't know when I slipped into that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. A Natsuhi voice?
Yeah,
Natsuhi,
it's getting similar to the voice I was doing for Natsuhi in one of my read-throughs. Anyway, Shion had gotten pretty angry at me. Well, her delinquency soon got her a position of authority in the Sonozaki main house. It's not unthinkable that Oishi suspects them for the dismemberment incident, and the later ones too. For a few moments, I was dumbstruck at the tales of Mion's past. None of them matched the image I had of her. A younger Mion, dirtying her hands with all sorts of crimes, giving the damn construction project hell.
She does walk around with a gun.
That's to say.
True. As the successor to the Sonozaki main family, she was always right at the center of the vortex of strange incidents occurring year after year. Was that really the Mion I know? Maybe the one I know isn't the real Mion?
Something you want to say?
I'm not gonna say anything.
It was actually aliens.
I couldn't figure it out. I just couldn't figure out how this twin mystery was panning out at all. I couldn't bring myself to accept these images of Mion I was hearing from another person. Bold of you to assume. Well, back to the main subject. I just wanted you to know that my sister is someone worth being cautious around.
But I'm completely
Be
trustworthy.
careful. I didn't want to understand. Mion was a fantastic friend. She would never do something to back me into a corner like that. She did ask me pretty harshly about the night of the festival, But even that, it wasn't like she said it in a mean way or anything.
Alright, I'll be sure to be careful.
We're sisters related by blood, but within the Sonozaki family, we're basically of a different class. I want you to recognize how distant my position is from hers. Please. The more Shion tells me about Mion, the less I understand who Mion is. The Mion I know wasn't a dangerous person. She joked around, smiled a lot, and was full of passion. Now that I'd realized I'd held such a view towards her, Shion was telling me to change it. To be careful around the best friend ever. To doubt her. The idea was very sad and painful. Now, about Oishi. Now, that was a
The
abrupt.
music cutting, that was abrupt, yeah.
I feel like that's on purpose. Now, about Oishi. If you think it's a good idea, then I think we should give him the information he needs. I don't think we should tell Oishi shit. I think he's a little sussy baka. I think getting the police on our side will work in our favor. Doubt.
You thought so too, Shion?
It's just, at the moment, like I explained, the police have their eyes on the Sonozaki family already. Oishi in particular completely believes that they're the masterminds behind the serial incidents. That includes me, of course. So, I don't really want much to do with Oishi. I see. If Oishi-san had found out about the Sonozaki family's strife-filled history, then he probably wouldn't have been very happy with Shion, either. At last, I understood Mion's instinctive dislike for Oishi-san. It's probably out in the open at this point, but try not to give my name to him. If you agree to that, then I don't think there's a problem with you telling him anything.
I get it. I won't mention your name.
The police's investigative ability should be quite a reliable weapon for us right now. If Oishi tells you anything interesting, then let me know as well.
Yeah, of course. We'll share information and investigate together. Who killed Takano-san and Tomitake-san? Who was after us? Until we know, we need to defend ourselves.
That's why I need to get the baseball bat that makes you kill yourself. Anything else? Besides what Oishi told you, I mean. Any more things you want to incriminate yourself with, Keiichi? If anything has happened, no matter how minor, please tell me. Aside from my discussion with Oishi-san? Oh. Should I tell her that I revealed everything to Rika-chan? Rika-chan was acting like she knew something I didn't. She told me to leave it to her, but what? Ah, that's right. When I was talking to her, I mentioned Shion's name too. Was that a mistake? I felt like Shion would get angry. Nothing else? Kei-chan? I had remained quiet for a little while, so Shion encouraged me to speak, unable to bear the silence. I keep accidentally skipping past those lines because they're so short. As I struggled with what to say, Shion addressed me instead. It doesn't sound like it, so can I ask you something? I just heard this myself. Is it true that old man Kimiyoshi went missing? The old man Kimiyoshi? My gut told me that was the name of the mayor. That's not a name!
Old man is his
the
first
old
name.
man is not a name.
Old man is his name. You just gotta understand.
Old man, is that a Mion reference?
True.
Oji-san.
You mean the mayor? Wait, Shion, you haven't heard?
I don't know anything. I just overheard my dad talking about it on the phone again. I realized I shouldn't have said it. I realized I shouldn't have said that. Here in Hinamizawa, the things that happened around this time, when Oyashiro-sama's curse would recur, would all be covered up.
Here in Hinamizawa, no one jumps for the beef.
Nothing ever happens.
Yeah, actually, last night after a meeting, he didn't come home, so all of Hinamizawa was confused. They searched all through the village, but if they found him, then I haven't heard. The police should be searching for him as well.
Why didn't you tell me something that important right away? She shouted angrily at me, bringing all her emotion to bear.
Sorry, I thought you already knew. I didn't want to hide it or anything.
The receiver was silent. Did Shion get mad and hang up? Whoops.
Hey, Shion. Hello?
Kei-chan. What should I do? Shion's tiny, confused voice sounded like it belonged to a different person than the one that was yelling a few seconds ago.
She handed it to her sister.
The fact that that is a real possibility. Oh.
What's wrong? Tell me. We're not keeping secrets from each other, right?
Shion hesitated for a long while, but then she confessed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hide it. It was just that, the conversation got turned around and...
We're on the same side, right? I won't get mad, so tell me honestly.
Shion still hesitated for a few moments. Then, in a resigned voice, she continued. Old man Kimiyoshi, I told him everything. Shion seemed to think I would yell at her right after she said that, so I heard her catching her breath. Contrary to what she thought, I was a little relieved. Shion had done the same thing I had when I confessed everything to Rika-chan!
This will not be a parallel for anything happening at all.
Oh, this is gonna be a bloodbath. Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. Takano truly is the most relatable character. So, in as gentle a voice as I could, so as not to set her off, I responded.
Old man Kimiyoshi, he's someone you feel comfortable confiding to, Shion?
Yes. He would... When I was little, he was really nice to me. Shion felt the same pain as the rest of us from the mayor's disappearance. She had a different kind of strength from Mion, and as she continued, her voice sounded truly sad and pained. All I did was play tricks on him, but he would always just smile. He listened to anything I had to say. He was such a kind person.
Calm down, Shion. It's not like he's dead, right? Don't lose heart so easily.
Shion didn't answer. Even as I said it myself, I didn't think we'd ever find the missing mayor again. We probably wouldn't even figure out if he was alive or dead. Shion must have been thinking the same thing. That night, I told the mayor that we snuck into the ritual storehouse. Also that someone saw us and was out to get us.
Does the mayor know how absurdly Takano-san and Tomitake-san died?
Yes, he knew about it. I told him that they died by Oyashiro-sama's curse, and that I could be made a sacrifice to calm his anger. I just said it straight out.
Right. What then?
Old man Kimiyoshi didn't get angry. He smiled, then told me that if I was properly sorry about it, there was no way I'd be demoned away. He was really smiling, and he told me to leave it to him.
This doesn't remind you of anything. This does not remind you of anything at all.
Until Shion stopped sobbing, I was unable to find any words for her. I couldn't imagine what kind of person the mayor was, nor what Shion's relationship with him was like. Words of comfort, however, mean so much to us when we're about to be crushed by anxiety. Today, Rika-chan taught me that too. If someone who gave me such a sense of security were to disappear... Stop! Stop it! Stop it! Stop!
Really twisting the knife.
Then I could guess what kind of shock Shion was in. It's my fault. Because I revealed everything.
Stop it, Shion. It's not your fault.
No! It is my fault! I told him everything. Old man Kimiyoshi found out about everything. So, he has to have been killed. It was right after I told him, after all. He disappeared the same night that I confessed, and he told me everything was going to be alright. He found out. So he became involved. I should have never told him. All of this should have just been our fault. Only the four of us. It wasn't something I should have told to someone else. He got killed because I told him. He got killed because he knew. He got killed because I revealed it.
Hey, stop. If they were doing that, they would have obviously have killed you before killing the mayor. The order is all wrong. You or I should have been killed first. Why the hell would someone else get killed first?
No, it's in order. They must be planning to kill us last of all.
Huh? What? What?
They're not killing the first people who come to mind. They start by killing those we're close to. And then after they've caused us so much pain, they'll kill us. That must be what they're doing.
I said calm down. Shion, you're in shock. You're panicking. The mayor's disappearance has nothing to do with you. It's unconnected. It's not related to Takano-san and Tomitake-san's dying at all, either.
My words came out as a scream, as if I were shouting them at myself. No! It is connected. It just has to be. I told him, so he was killed. He got killed because he knew. I confessed to him, so he got killed. Did you know that Ryukishi likes to repeat himself? He likes to say the same words, but like in a slightly different order. She repeated the same
I'm sorry,
thing
I didn't
as
catch
before.
that. Could you say it again?
So, the author of this visual novel sometimes likes to say the same things, but like again.
He likes to paraphrase it.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat that for me?
Yeah.
So,
Don't worry.
okay,
Don't worry.
so basically, there's this guy named Ryukishi07, right? And he runs 07
07? Wait.
And
Was he born in 2007?
They made this visual novel, right? And you see, in his writing,
Which
he
visual novel?
often
Sorry,
likes
I didn't catch
to
it.
he likes to say the same thing, but like twice or more.
Or more? How many times?
He likes to repeat.
So there's this.
Oh, repeat as in, like, say it again? Is that
She
what you're
repeated
saying?
the same thing as before, as though she were in a delirium.
Binding of Isaac reference.
Oh my god, fucking Binding of Isaac reference.
There's this joke about Sisyphus, right?
Oh my
Wait,
god,
no, I
it's a
messed it up.
reference to the worst Binding of Isaac boss. Wow. And this one console, that's actually a reference to the PlayStation 5. Despite my trying to console the crazed Shion, for some reason, the shadow at my feet began to freeze.
Because I didn't have any games.
From that shadow,
Yeah, the reason Shion's in such a state is because the PS5 has no games.
that's why old man Kimiyoshi was killed. It all makes
This
sense.
PS5 didn't have any games. Oyashiro-sama wanted to play Plants vs. Zombies, but that was only on the PS3.
And it wasn't backwards compatible. Woo! Okay, I'm sorry.
That's why
I
old
need to
man
get back into
Kiyoshi
the
was
scene
killed
now.
is because he was developing the first PS5 game.
Okay, getting back into the scene now. From that shadow, a cold arm reached out, so cold it seemed like it would freeze even my heart just by touching me, and grabbed my ankle.
Shadow? You mean Shadow the Hedgehog, a game that's not on PS5?
The heat generated by my body, the arm that was absorbing it. It was a horrible chill. A freezing cold, numbingly frigid. It was an inviolable chill of fear. Though I sympathized with Shion, I had been naive in thinking it was something only she had to worry about. In my head, Shion's eerie words repeated again and again. He was killed because I told him. He was killed because he found out. I confessed everything, so he was killed. Those words echoed through my head like a monotone mantra, and finally, even those repetitions took on meaning. The quiet shaking that had already overtaken me turned into a violent shiver that shot up my spine.
Rika-chan. It's Rika-chan.
Oh, if he's talking to Mion, this is great. Oh! He's literally ratting out. Oh! What? What did you say just now?
Well, the truth is, I told her about it. I told Rika-chan today.
Rika-chan? You mean Rika-chama? The one from the Furude Shrine?
Yes, Rika-chan. I felt so scared and uneasy that I did it. I told Rika-chan. And I also ratted you out.
When you did, what did she say? The cat is worrying.
The cat is worrying too much.
I'll do something
I'll
about
do
it.
something about it for sure.
Oh. I thought this was narration. Never mind. It's fine. Okay.
It's remembering.
That's what Rika-chan said. And then she smiled. She smiled, just like the missing mayor had when he encouraged Shion.
K1?
My internet cut out.
Oh.
Nice.
I'm sorry, Shion. I'm a bit worried about Rika-chan.
Ah, right. If you're that concerned, then don't worry about me. Please, go find out whether she's safe.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I'll call you again tomorrow at the same time. When I do, you'll know I'm still alright.
I got it. I'll be waiting. Okay, bye. Sorry, I'm hanging up.
I put down the receiver without waiting for Shion to say goodbye. The danger to Shion and myself was secondary at this point.
She calmed down really quickly.
My sixth sense was blaring alarms in my head, and they sounded like the cry of the Higurashi. I don't like this feeling. It's really bad. It's definitely bad.
Damn it. Please be safe, Rika-chan.
Ooh. It is close to time. Do you want to keep going or nah?
So scary you shit yourself.
Many such cases.
I mean, we can do the tips.
Yeah, we can do the tips.
And stop there.
Sure. Works for me. Alright, we got... Dakana's scrapbook seems quite extensive, I have to say. The name of this one is very interesting, but let's do from
It's
the
probably
scrapbook.
because it has invisible text that's only visible under an orange light.
Oh, that makes sense.
The three families in modern times. As previously described, the three families' council today is a mere shell of democracy. In reality, it is a dictatorship run by the Sonozaki family. Both the Kimiyoshi and Furude families are far from their former glory, and it doesn't seem at all like they've maintained the ancient traditions. Only the Sonozaki family has retained their glory from the past and has inherited many colorful traditions from the age known as Onikakushi village. Even the most recent verifiable example of Watanagashi that occurred at the end of the Meiji era seems to have been done under the orders of the Sonozaki family. Refer to the three families' genealogical tree from the late Meiji. After the start of the Meiji era, the Sonozaki family wanted to push the development of Hinamizawa village, so they took a strong role in leadership. During the dam wars a few years ago, the Kimiyoshi family served as the chair of the opposition alliance, but this was in name only. In actuality, the Sonozaki family reigned as leader behind the scenes. People whisper that perhaps the Kimiyoshi family dictated acts of opposition that could be publicized, and the Sonozaki family enacted those which could not. Even in Hinamizawa, they whisper that the multitude of unsettling incidents reported during the dam protests, such as the kidnapping of the famous head of the Ministry of Construction's son, had been carried out by the Sonozakis. Additionally, they say that perhaps the Sonozaki family's secret maneuvering was responsible for the serial freak death incidents that have continuously occurred in recent years as well. Serial freak death incidents are without a doubt the second coming of the traditional Watanagashi. They must be enacting the Watanagashi on the day of the original Watanagashi, which has fallen to the level of an ordinary village festival, in order to remind the villagers of the holy laws of Onikakushi village. It's safe to assert that exploring the Sonozaki family is the fastest route for researching it today. If I can expose the contents of the Furude Shrine storehouse, I'd like to narrow my research target to the Sonozaki family next. The Sonozaki house is strictly guarded by security cameras on the premises, but thankfully, I've become acquainted with the sisters Mion, the next heir, and Shion. I want this to be a breakthrough I can connect to my next line of research. Quite the historian.
Indeed. Their punishment isn't over? I'm sure this tip won't be
there's
ominous.
more. Billy Mays here with Watanagashi. No, don't worry about it. You see, when you order the Odin here, for some reason it ends up on the annual invoice for our gas contracts. So don't be shy and have another drink.
Oh, you want me to take this?
It's narration, yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. The man, red-faced, waved his hand to say that he'd had enough, and disappeared into the brilliant neon lights in front of the station.
Kuma-chan, you should be taking notes. The more modest people are the ones who live the longest.
Take note, guys. You should be taking notes. Put this in your notes.
Was all
Sorry,
that
bear guy.
true?
Well, I don't know about that. Whether or not it's true, I think there's meaning in hearing something that sounds so plausible.
Would something like that be a motive to go for the mayor?
Kuma-chan, here's what I always say. The motive only has to be enough for the person in question. You need to think about how different people value different things. Hey, bartender, give me another mug. Though we've been suppressing the information,
right,
Tomotaka and Takano's deaths were already known throughout Hinamizawa. All the rumors pointed to them having incurred the wrath of Oyashiro-sama for setting foot in the Forbidden Temple, the storehouse for ritualism. According to the rumors, there were two other people who went in there with them, Shion Sonozaki and Keiichi Maebara. People were whispering the shadows of those two would be cursed by Oyashiro-sama as well. Apparently, however, the responsibility didn't fall solely on the four trespassers' shoulders. Until last year, it was locked up tight. But this year, it had been changed to a simpler lock. Hadn't that been what allowed thieves to enter so easily? Those were the rumors going around.
Uh-oh.
Have you ever seen it, Kuma-chan? I remember it well. I had to go there for something quite a while back.
Sorry, I don't really remember.
It was locked up so tight it was scary. There were these real heavy bars holding it shut. It was sealed up as good as a bank vault. This year, it was a very simple and cheap padlock. The lone girl protecting the shrine, Rika Furude, disliked the heavy locks and consulted with the mayor, who had replaced it with a simpler padlock.
So then the mayor and Rika Furuta shared a crime? So Then after the mayor, wouldn't Rika Furuda be in danger next?
There's a decent possibility. Kuma-chan, I want you to contact all the cars we have in Hinamizawa. Tell them to stick near the Furude Shrine.
You got it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
No way in, no way out.
She's
I'm
still gonna
thinking-
die and disappear somehow. I just know it. Oh no.
I'm thinking nothing bad will happen next
Yeah,
session.
I don't think anything
Nothing
bad's
bad
gonna
will
happen
happen,
next time.
and this surely
It's-
will not end up being a pseudo locked room murder.
Oh no.
He's
Alright.
gonna get teleported to the woods. Damn.
Alright, well, that's all for this session, folks. And as we always say at the end of our sessions, tally
Tally-ho!
Tally
I
ho.
will say,
We've always said
one
this.
other thing comes to mind. One other thing that comes to mind that I'm thinking about it, right? Because I know we were discussing the weirdness surrounding Tomatake's murder, in the theorizing section after the first chapter, right? Or first episode, whatever you want to call it.
First Kalpa.
It occurred to me now, since there's the notes of how far Mio's body was dragged, right? Moved, basically.
Yes.
She was the last person that was with Tomatake. If we assume that she was there at the time, would that not be a potential reason for why they would have run off and left Tomatake there if they had to move Mio's body for whatever reason?
Maybe? I feel like they should have found Mio's body if she died in the first chapter, though. At least if she
Yeah,
died
it's
like
weird.
she had. I mean, Oishi did also say in the first chapter that there's a good chance that Mio is involved. And then Keiichi just kind of ignored that because he's Keiichi, so...
She was just involved in some Yakuza business. She just had some money that she owed them.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, burning
That's your
someone
broken
alive,
kneecaps too.
burning someone alive as a loan shark, like, way to send a message checks out.
I do find it interesting that Mio's death is so very uncurse-like. Because, like, the whole thing with Chapter 1 was like, oh my god, one person died in this mysterious way and one disappeared. It's so mysterious. How could this have possibly happened? And then this chapter is like, oh yeah, her body was found in an oil drum burnt to a crisp. And also, she could not have done it herself because her clothes were missing.
It's not. I mean, she could have.
Yeah, she could have.
taken half her
She
clothes
could
off.
have, but I'm going to
It
go
is-
ahead and
it
say
is
it's unlikely
abnormal.
at this point.
Holy shit! She covered herself in oil.
She was trying to fly. Well, she just happened to get struck by lightning.
She was waiting for it to rain.
She was waiting for it to rain. Yeah, she got struck
We've
by
solved the
lightning.
Higurashi.
We figured it out, guys. GG. Oyashiro-sama's thunder is the culprit.
You know, it comes full circle. She had seen the weather forecast for Gifu Prefecture that morning.
Ah,
That's why she was there.
Yeah, she was waiting for it to rain.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now.
Yeah, totally
Bye,
fair.
bye, YouTube.
Wait, I need to think of
Wait.
funny words to say.
Okay,
Gamer
go ahead.
words.
Okay.
Oh, slurs.
Gamer.
Don't say slurs.
Fart.
Okay, you can say
Oh,
fart.
he said the one.
Nice. Okay, I'm ending the recording now. Bye, YouTube. I love you guys.